Hey there, explorers. Thanks for joining us here on episode 7 of Explore 365. We're excited to go through this spring adventures episode with you. First, we start out with some new challenges that you can help flex your creative muscles this spring. And then we go through some of our new favorite guides we have right here on NJspots.com. Sit back, relax, enjoy, and thanks for listening to Explore 365. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Explore 365. I'm Virginia, the founder of NJspots, and I am joined by my co-host, Abby.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hope everybody is doing well, enjoying the warmer-ish weather. I know it's always flux, this kind of temperature this time of year is always like up and down, up and down. So at the time of recording this, it's like, I think it's in the 30s, but last week is in the 60s.
Spring. It's probably fall spring.
It is. We're getting a little spoiled, and all of a sudden we realize we have to keep our jackets out.
Yeah. Hopefully the snow shovels can go away.
Oh, mine's been away. I put that thing away like 2 weeks ago. I was like, even if there's a chance it's coming, I'll shovel it with my hand. This is ridiculous. I'm tired of looking at it.
Yeah, we even canceled our winter contest because we are so tired of looking at pictures of white snow.
Yeah. Love you guys. Love you guys. We love your winter photos, and we saw too many of them for weeks on end that we didn't even have a winter photo contest. So yeah, you all did a great job, and you're all winners in our book.
Yep. Yeah. DM us if you want a sticker, but other than that, no.
Yeah, no, we're not doing it. We're thinking of doing it. And we're like, okay, we'll run it in March. And then I'm like, no, we've really already seen it.
It's really popular, but
I mean, everybody did it without us. We didn't even have to host it.
True. That's true.
So hopefully everybody's doing well. As always, just a quick shout out to our producer, Mike Sick. If you follow him on Instagram, give him a shout. If not, go follow him on Instagram at MikeScic. He's a man. He helps us out a lot. We appreciate you, Mike. Thank you so much. And in this episode, which was originally slotted to be like a New Year's resolution, turn a new leaf type thing, we actually switched gears and we're making this more of a spring cleaning, get out there and enjoy the weather type turning leaf. So in this episode, we're going to go through some of the fun new ideas that you could have this spring and get out and start to adventure in the warm weather. But in the meantime, what are you looking forward to the most, Abby, with the spring coming?
It's actually really perfect timing for this episode because I think a lot of our followers are starting to get vaccinated.
Yes.
So everyone will be able to, take a load off and actually start enjoying adventures. So that's what I'm most looking forward to. I'm looking forward to warmer weather, getting outside safely. What are you looking forward to?
Just not having to wear a coat. I know that sounds so funny. And it's here's the thing too. I love the winter. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm a snowboarder, bring on the snow. It's all great and good. But the more that I have to wear a coat, the more that I get frustrated because it's like you leave in the morning, especially this time of year, you leave in the morning, you got to wear a coat. And then in the evening, you're like, oh, it's hot out. I could take my coat off. And then the next day it hits you back again. You got to wear the coat. So other than that, though, I'm looking forward to just getting outside. I mean, I feel like it's been at the time of this recording, it's been the pandemic for a whole year now. And even though you could still go outside and do things safely, it still is like, there's still this hindrance and kind of reservation that most people have. So just looking forward to just going out. So,
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So on that note, what are we getting ready to do?
We're getting ready to launch an awesome community right here on NJspots.com. We're going to be launching the NJspots Circle community, which is going to be it's besides just a chat room / place to connect with people. We're going to have a really cool space on there for free workshops, some premium workshops. You all can host your own workshops right on the community as well. So you don't have to wait for us to host one for you. You could do it right through the community. So if you're looking to even just share, if you're not even talking and you want to share, 20 or 30 minutes of editing a photo, you could do that live right through our community. So we're really looking forward to launching that. So at the time of this podcast, it will probably be launched already, at least in the beta version. But if not, be sure to head over to njspots.com, sign up for our emails, and you'll be notified when you can join. It'll be, we're looking forward to it. It's something different outside of just chatting with people. We'll have like active workshops and things like that people can host.
Is it going to replace our Slack community?
Yeah, it's going to replace our Slack community, but it's going to be the same type of idea of our Slack community. So, obviously sharing links and sharing your photos, sharing your Instagram posts are all going to still be included in this community, in the circle, the NJspots circle, but it's going to have that extra element of hosting workshops a little bit easier, which will be really helpful for people to just go back and view different resources and things like that. It's a little bit more of a personal I would say space as opposed to Slack. Slack sometimes, at least for me, feels a little bit too business-like and kind of like work-related, where this is going to be a little bit more casual. One of the biggest things that we're really focusing on with this community is not having people feel pressured. We don't want you to just not ask a question because you feel that you're imposing on people that might be a bit more advanced than you. It's open to everybody of all photo skill levels, even if you're not a photographer and you just like to enjoy the outdoors and take pictures of them. This space is for you. One of the bigger things that we're really focusing on as well is active feedback for photographers and creators. So a lot of the chat rooms or a lot of the groups that we've found on other social media has allowed people to just quickly like something instead of actually giving active feedback or critiques to people. So this space we're trying to do a little bit more so people can actually get and give real feedback to each other and be able to kind of just correspond in that way and have that place that they could go to for that kind of stuff.
And that's one of the most active channels in our Slack right now. One of our writers, Joe, he actually posted a photo this morning in our photo feedback channel. It was of this beautiful flower, and he asked, which do you prefer? Our Slack just went off just now.
Yeah.
Which do you prefer? This brighter flower with a lighter foreground, or a little bit more of a sultry photo, and people can provide their feedback. So we're really, really excited to have more of you join us over there.
Yep.
You can and brainstorm new ideas, collaborate with people, find people to collaborate, take ideas from other photographers and make them your own. So we're super pumped for that.
Yeah. So head over. If you have questions about it, you could always hit us up on our messages and we'll be happy to answer them as well. So other than that, speaking of that big project, what other kind of projects do you, turning quote unquote a new leaf in the springtime, Abby? What kind of projects have you, been looking forward to starting up or renewing or continuing?
Sure. So in the beginning of last year, and every year, 2019, I started my favorite personal project that I do is the 52 hikes project. And if there are loose rules, you can actually join like the 52 hikes group if you want. But it's basically you hike 52 times a year. And it sounds like it would be easy, but if you think about it, it's hiking once a week.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Especially if you work and you have other, things. I don't have kids, so I can imagine if you have children, it would, they would take up more of your time. So in 2019, I completed. I actually did more than 52 hikes. It was really, really amazing. And then in 2020, I was able to complete it, but it was hard because, as you all know, New Jersey was locked down for a couple of months. Actually, I started hiking in my house, up my stairs. That was like a fun little project I was doing.
Did you track that on all trails?
No, no, unfortunately, no, I did not. But yeah, we actually have some hikes on all trails. If you go to our website, you can see some hikes that we've saved on our NJspots all trails. But yeah, that's one of the projects I love to do. Obviously, you can bring photography into that. You can bring hashtags into that. The other thing I love to do is, if you've listened to this podcast, is to pick up trash and leave no trace. Bring your gloves, bring a trash bag with you. One of our followers, actually, I'm not sure who it was, but she posted a story that she had taken a bag with her
Yeah, I
when
saw
she
that
went hiking.
yesterday.
Yeah, it was amazing. So thank you so much for everybody who does that and who has been inspired, and who went to we had an Asbury Park cleanup in 2019, and then we had one in Lyndhurst in 2019 as well.
Yeah.
Um,
In the
yeah,
rain.
so in the rain, it was pouring rain. It was really fun. Thank you, Katie, one of our patrons, for coming to that. That was really fun. So that's what I do to find inspiration and to connect with people. And like I said, obviously you can bring photography into that. Bring your camera, bring your phone.
Yeah, for sure.
Hiking is a great way to get out and explore nature. So.
When you like with the 52 hike challenge, like
Mhm.
I know it's obviously like, I mean, I haven't done it, but from what I've heard from you, it's like kind of like a loose interpretation, but like is there a set minimum, like do you guys have to hike a mile for it to count,
Mm.
or is there like a distance? How does that work?
Yeah, if you're really, really interested in like following the actual rules, yeah, there's like a certain kind you can do. It's like you have to do 52 different hikes.
Ah,
Um, or you have to do 1 mile each time. But yeah, like you said, if you really want to get out there, you could do 52 of the same loop around a mile if you
yeah.
really want. But I like to try to find a different place every time if I can. Or if you go to the same park, try to find a different loop. Try to go the opposite way around the loop. Try to break your habit, like break your brain a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah. So Virginia does this really, really cool
Not
coffee
outdoor
project.
project.
Not an outside project, an inside
I mean,
project.
it gets me outside, so that
That's
kind of
true.
counts, right? So I have
That's
a,
true.
yeah, I started a coffee project. I guess it was last fall. I got a brand new espresso machine for my house. I was never a big coffee drinker until a few years ago. Actually, I credit that all to my wife. She hooked me on coffee. But more recently, I started to make my own espresso shots at home. And what I've actually done is I didn't know like coffee shops because I never really went to coffee shops before. So instead of just ordering or picking up at the store these generic, like, your Starbucks, your Dunkin' Donuts, your Green Mountain coffee that you see everywhere, I wanted to, just because of obviously New Jersey and NJspots, but I wanted to focus on like local businesses. So over the last few months, I think I'm up to, I think I've reviewed 10 different local coffee shops, and they're specifically roasters. So they roast their own beans in New Jersey. So that's been a really fun project to just try new coffees. I rate them based on off of the smell, the taste, and the body of them. So if you're interested in following along, check that out on my Instagram. That's been fun because I've been able to connect with a lot of these local shops, and it's just cool to be able to ask them like, oh, well, what should I try at home? And they're super passionate about it, so it's cool to just connect with those local companies and be able to do that. And it's just been fun in that sense to be able to support locals in that kind of capacity that I can right now. Um, so yeah, so that's been fun. That's been a personal project of my own, that has kind of gotten me through the winter, but I'm looking forward to continuing that. So if anyone listening, you have coffee shops that you want to suggest, feel free to send them my way. I still have a very long running list, but I could always add to
Yeah.
it.
And
So
I have had one of her lattes. They are
pretty good.
delicious.
Maybe
Yeah.
we'll open an NJ Spots like cafe.
Yeah, drive
Yeah.
up coffee shop. Yeah,
We could put like little pretty straws in or something.
they are delicious. Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And if you're on once you're on Virginia's Instagram, you might also notice her throwing her phone in
In
the
the
air,
air.
which got the attention of Otterbox.
Yeah, that was fun. Oh my gosh, that was 5 years ago. I took a picture, literally just was standing at I was at Lake Champlain, and it was frozen, and there was these huge ice chunks coming out. So I threw my phone up in the air and took a quick picture of it. and it was just like in this awesome angle. And I tagged OtterBox because I had an OtterBox, case on it. And fast forward to today, and I've been an OtterBox ambassador for 5 years now. So that's been really cool to be able to test new products that they have, take a lot of photos for them during, especially for their Instagram channel and their community. So that's been a really interesting like project that I've been doing. It's really neat because allowed me to be a little bit more creative with like my photography, because I'm not like a product photographer. I like to take pictures of outside and hikes and nature and stuff like that. So been able to kind of mix those two things together. And I mean, I love all the cases that they have too. So that's been helpful as well. But that's been a fun project that I've been able to kind of, work on over the last few years and really get creative with different types of photography, push me out of my, comfort zone. But, on the flip side, I know, Abby, you've been involved with Keep Nature Wild. Tell us
Right.
a little bit
Yeah.
about that and how you got
Right.
involved with that too, that brand.
Yeah. We both use our personal projects and brand ambassadorships to push our creativity. So I'm a mentor for Keep Nature Wild, and they're the ones I help um, people all over the country pick up trash. We essentially wear their merch, and we go pick up trash. I'm also an ambassador. I think I'm wearing their shirt right now. Oh yeah, for 10 Tree.
Heyo.
They plant
So for
10
those of you
trees.
listening, it's like a black
Oh yeah,
sweatshirt with a little,
sorry.
like a little
Tree.
tree.
Spruce tree.
Yeah.
Yep. They plant 10 trees for every piece of clothing sold. So for me, with Keep Nature Wild and with 10 Tree, um, it wearing their stuff and going out and using their mission outside really helps fuel my adventures. Um, so and push my creativity. So with that being said, I think that's really, really important for photographers.
Well, yeah, and it's something different too, especially
Right.
like when you find different brands that are, because like I know, I don't know anyone personally, but I know some brands, what they do is they put very strict requirements on like
Hmm.
their brand ambassadors. Like you have to post X amount of times a week or whatever. I mean, I do have some type of requirements with OtterBox, but not to the point where people are, I know brands have literally been like, you can't post this, you can't post this, you can't post
Mm,
this. And it's been almost a challenge for them. So, sometimes there are a lot of brands out there that are willing to kind of allow you to flex your creativity, which has really been
right.
cool because you can connect with those brands and you just become more loyal. I mean, I probably anyone that I know that gets a new phone, I immediately am like, "Do you have an OtterBox case on it?" Well, why not? Like,
Yeah.
not just because I'm an ambassador, but it's just like I know I love their products and I know they stand by them. So it's like it's a win-win for everybody, which is kind of cool. And being able to be creative with that and kind of mix that with your photography or being outside is really cool. But what other kind of challenges like or creativity like have you challenged yourself with in the past, Abby, with like going outside and just exploring? Like have you tried to like outside of the 52 hikes, are there different things that you've tried to do?
Um, well, I've taken some pretty interesting pictures of trash. So
You have a
with
trash
keeping
collection?
with keep yeah, so like there are some pictures I've taken with Keep Nature Wild. We have like these impact days where once a month we post the picture of either the trash we've picked up, um, or us in the merch, or a picture of outside, and we talk about like the theme for the month. But like this one picture I remember taking, I think it was in Asbury Park. I can't remember where exactly. Somewhere at the beach. And I took a picture of a shell, and I put a picture of all the micro trash, like all the plastic that I had.
Oh, I remember that photo you took.
Yeah, yeah. And I put all the plastic inside the shell, and I said like, you're ingesting like all of this plastic.
Yeah,
And
that's
people are
like
like, what
wild.
is wrong with you? And I'm like, no, but this is like,
And then
I'm
they
using
get it.
photography, right? I'm using photography to show you that like not only can you not see um all of this plastic, but you're actually ingesting it. And then I also posted a reel on NJspots of me cleaning up Sandy Hook back
Yes.
in November. And actually, a lot of people were shocked at how much trash I was picking up with the grabber,
Yep.
because it just hides in the sand. So the um, next time you're walking on the beach, just take a look down and see what you might be walking on. So yeah, that's kind of like how I've used my creativity. But yeah, Virginia, you with Otterbox, I know there are a lot more opportunities for you
Yeah, I mean
to show
it's
off
been
your.
interesting because like obviously my first photo was me throwing my phone, which I still do, just because it's fun. And now
Hmm.
the fact that, if it breaks, it gets protected.
Right.
But yeah, I mean it's interesting because like I've done a lot of photos with the case where like I'll take a picture of something else or of whatever scene I'm looking at, and then it's imposed in the camera and the surroundings. I know one of my favorites that I took this winter was it was before we got the big storm in February, but we had like a significant snowfall one day, and it was just pure white outside. Like the trees were covered, everything was just pure white. And what I did was I actually took a picture that I took in Hawaii on my honeymoon of this like crystal blue water, like so blue that it doesn't even look real. And I filled my phone screen with that blue wave,
I
and
remember this.
I took the picture of my phone in this, like holding up against the white background of the snow, and the blue just pops out. And I think my caption was something like along the lines of like dreaming of warmer days or something like that. So it's been interesting because that type of photo I probably never would have taken, but it's actually turned out to be one of my favorites. I had it as my like phone background for a while. Like it was just interesting to see like that contrast. um and without being, a brand ambassador for Otterbox, I wouldn't have been able to do it. I just probably wouldn't have even thought of it. So it's been interesting to kind of do that, and just kind of again flex your creative muscles. I'm always a
Right.
huge fan of telling people like that specific phrase, like flex your creative muscles, because a lot of times for me, I know this is going to sound funny, but I will get into a creative block where I can't do anything, and knowing that I have to take certain amount of photos or types of photos for Otterbox actually has helped me break out of that creative block because I start looking
Hmm.
at things differently. So it's allowed me to kind of be a little bit more creative and just, try new things. And
Right. And
speaking of new things, like what kind of like new challenges or things have you put yourself up against, like besides just the, brand ambassadorship?
right. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was hoping that our photo challenges would provide that
Yeah.
for people. I don't know if you want to drop a hint at what our next one is, but our last ones have been all um
This one's
nature
nature
focused.
ish.
Sorta. But yeah, I was hoping I hope that the ones we provide to people can um can give a little bit of a challenge. And then I'm also hoping that the scavenger hunts that we released last year can um spur a little bit of creativity in people and give some options for some new places that they might not have seen before.
Yeah, for
Um
sure.
yeah, yeah.
The
So,
scavenger hunts, if you guys haven't checked them out yet, last summer in 2020, right? Last summer or two
yeah,
summers ago? Yeah, okay.
2020.
For a second, I'm like, wait a minute, what year was it?
It was 2020. Yeah. The
Last
year
year,
that was lost. The lost
yeah,
year.
lost, but
2020 is
also it
perfect.
was the longest year too, so it's very
Yeah.
confusing.
Mhm.
Last year in 2020, we put together a scavenger hunt series of every single county. So if you've listened to other podcasts of ours before, we've mentioned it in the past, but every county we put together, anywhere from half a dozen to 10 different places that you could go check out. So that was a cool challenge that we've had people be included with, but also like Abby mentioned, we have different photo challenges, and not just the contest that we host on NJspots, but also in our Slack community, and now turning into our Circle community, we're going to be having regular photo challenges just for fun, to be able to kind of push those boundaries too. Nothing crazy, but just, I know we've done a couple in the past with different themes, but if you're still listening, the next photo contest that we're having is, let's just say that you're going to need like a 35 millimeter or a 50 millimeter. Let's just drop that and let's see how many
That's
people
a
get
good
that.
hint.
Yeah.
That's a good hint.
So,
That's a
but
nice
moving
one.
on to that, get excited for our spring contest, our spring photo contest coming out. And then in the meantime, with spring on its way here, warmer weather's coming, snow is finally melted and gone. We have,
You hope.
oh gosh, I hope. Don't even throw that out there, Abby. You're giving me like PTSD on like shoveling a blizzard. There's some spring adventures that are awaiting. So this episode, we want to focus on some of those things that you can look out for this spring. So Abby, why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the really interesting new guides that we've put out this late winter, early spring
Sure.
to get people ready to find some new spots.
Sure. We have been really busy putting out a lot of guides on local county parks, which we have not had a lot of in the past. We have Black Run Preserve, we have Poplar Road Wildlife Sanctuary, um, we have this park in Bridgewater, Washington Valley Park. It just came to me. That has a waterfall that I always post about it on my own socials, and no one ever seems to like it. Just blows people's minds every time. Yes, there is a waterfall in Bridgewater, and there is a hawk watch um, over like a quarry. So there's a lot
Yeah,
of
on that
there's a
same
lot.
trail loop.
Yep, there's a lot to see there. And then one other thing that Mercer County Park is another county park in Central Jersey
Yep.
that we have a guide about. And then one other thing that will drop by the end of March, the whole series is Roadside Photo Spots. Our writer Sue put them all together. It's a collection of things that she has seen along the side of the road that will make like very, very cool um, photo spots. So check those out. There's a full guide to them on NJspots.com.
Yeah, and that's a cool little creative project to kind of,
Mm-hmm.
if you're in that like winter creative block, like the
Right.
roadside photos, because especially if you don't have the time right now, if you're busy at
Right.
work or you don't, maybe it's still a little too cold for you to go out, those are good places to kind of get, new content, new photos. And
Definitely.
isn't there a hashtag? It's like hashtag I pulled over for this or something like
Oh
that. I
yeah.
think it's pretty
Yeah. I
popular.
forgot about that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know a lot of our New Jersey photographers are a big part of that community too. So this will be cool for that, for that hashtag. So be sure to
Mm-hmm.
check those out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have some really, and that Bridgewater Falls is such a cool water. I remember going to it when I lived down in Central Jersey, and I remember going to it, and it was relatively easy to hike to. But
Oh yeah.
again,
It takes
it's
like 10 minutes to
yeah,
walk,
but
and it's like
people
an
don't even
easy
know it's
path.
there. That's the thing. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. And you
But
can walk like up by the falls, and then if you're more nimble, you can walk kind of down and see it from below. Yeah, it's but it does get muddy,
yes, very
so
muddy, especially this time of year. I mean, it's
Mhm,
like, especially with the falls, the snow melt, you're going to have a lot of mud, but just in
mhm,
general, in the springtime, that's one thing to think about is it is mud season.
mhm,
So with all the snow we had this season, it's going to naturally be muddy, but the ground was also frozen. So as the ground is defrosting, it's going to also be muddy.
mhm.
So be sure to wear your galoshes. Um,
Oh God.
or like I have the oh shoot, what are those things called that you put over boots? They're like little like sleeves for your boots, like your hiking boots.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about,
Oh
but
my
I don't know
gosh,
what
what
they're
are those
called.
called? I have those
No,
too. No,
waiters?
no, that's like for fishing. It's like
I
the
have no
little,
idea.
you know what I'm talking about. And if you're listening and you have to remind us,
Yeah, I
please
know
message
exactly
us.
what they're talking about.
It's
They're
like
on our
those little,
website.
yeah, they're like the little like clippy things, and they got Velcro, and it clips to your thing so the water doesn't get in your sock.
Mhm,
Whatever those are called, wear those if you have
mhm,
them.
mhm, mhm.
But also layer up too, because it's like this weird time of year where yes, it's warm at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, it starts getting cold again. Where at least like maybe wear pants and bring a long sleeve or something. And then also on top of the time, while we're recording this, daylight savings time just happened, so I'm consuming more coffee than I like to admit. But time it right too, because like sometimes at night you might think you still have enough daylight and you may not. So just I always like to keep on my weather app like what time the sun sets or sunrises if you're early bird. But that way you have a good idea of when to hit up your special spot wherever you're going, and have enough time to walk back, especially if it's not a loop. So be sure to time it right. And speaking of spots, what other kind of off beaten paths are you in this episode segment of off the beaten
Hmm.
path? What kind of spot are you thinking of this spring, Abby?
Yeah, so I mean, I just told you my favorite spot in Bridgewater, which now is no longer a secret, but whatever. I wrote a guide on it so you guys can enjoy it.
We
Um, uh,
sacrificed the secret spot for you.
Sacrifice my secret Bridgewater spot for all of you. You're welcome. Um, Another really cool spot in South Jersey is Higbee Beach. It's in Cape May. It's on the west side of the little peninsula, so it's on our sunset map. Um, it's a really, really chill spot. It's on the beach. Um, but yeah, it's really, really beautiful for sunset, really
And it's
calm. I
quiet
mean,
too because it's on the
very
west side
quiet.
too. So a lot of people
Yeah,
don't go
not
there.
a lot of yeah, not like there's not crashing waves or anything. But yeah, check it out on our sunset map, um, NJspots.com. Obviously, lots of Cape May guides if you want to check out Cape
Yeah, which
May.
are some of our most popular ones in the winter because a lot of people down in South Jersey are looking for places to explore in Cape May during the winter and colder months before it gets crazy busy. So we have
Mhm.
a few guides on there to be sure to head over there and check them out.
Yep.
Yeah. And in this week's marketing and digital tip for you guys, um, kind of going off of, what we were talking about with different challenges and being creative and being in a creative block, it's important to figure out when to engage your followers so that it can help you be a bit more creative. So you're getting the most of whatever timing of putting your posts out. I know here at NJ Spots, we're constantly changing times that we're posting things and adjusting based off of, when you guys are online, just so that we can reach you and see how things are doing and we could get your cool comments and feedback on different things. So make sure sign up for a creator account. So if you don't have a business account on Instagram, you can create a creator account, which is relatively new on Instagram, which allows you to see the insights of when your followers are online and how often they're liking your stuff. So it allows you to kind of get a little bit more of an insight on them. And then also too, going back to just being a creator in general, just show interest in your audience. I actually, over this past weekend, I went on this huge rant on Instagram where I was basically encouraging people to just be more human about your account, your brand, your business, whatever it is. Because at the end of the day, yes, there's an algorithm and yes, there's like computer robots that are controlling things. But if and when you reach somebody that can see your stuff, it's a human. Remember that. So show interest in them. Invest your creative side in your audience and just be, natural about it. Because at the end of the day, if a human's not viewing your posts, then you're not going to get anything back for it. And then if you're looking for more tips or things like that, be sure to head over to our Patreon account. We do have an Instagram insider tier for $10 a month. That allows you to get some exclusive tips every week directly from our team here at NJ Spots. That helps you just kind of expand your creative juices and muscles with Instagram and just reach more audience. So be sure to check that out. And if you have any other suggestions about different tips that you have, be sure to email us at podcast@njspots.com, or you could DM us right there on Instagram. Abby, wrap it up.
Yeah. Well, if you DM us, it will be one of us answering. So that's the personal touch you get with NJ Spots. So thank you for joining us. You can support us on Patreon. All the information is at njspots.com. You can join our Slack channel, which will shortly be our Circle platform for more daily conversations about photography in New Jersey. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok, anywhere on the internet at NJspots. You can also follow us along on our hashtag on Instagram at hashtag NJspots, and sign up for our email newsletters to get news on guides and contests first, because you know that you want to be informed.
And you're going to be knowing about the new contest first too. So
That's right.
Get ready for that.
Enter as soon as possible.
Yeah. And in the meantime, be sure to rate us in your favorite podcast player, like us on YouTube, subscribe so that way you don't miss any future episodes. And if you have any feedback for us, feel free to email us at podcast@njspots.com. And in the meantime, keep tagging NJspots and we'll talk to you later. Hey there, Explorer. Virginia here. Thanks for tuning in for this episode of Explorer 365. Hope that you found something useful out of it. And if you want to learn more about any of the topics we discussed in this episode, be sure to head over to NJspots.com, where we do have a summary for every episode on our website. And if you want to support us even further, we would really appreciate it if you could hit that like button and subscribe to us right here on YouTube so you don't miss any future episodes. Also, if you're interested, you could always become a supporter on our Patreon account. And in the meantime, if you have any questions or topic ideas, feel free to email us at podcast@njspots.com. In the meantime, happy exploring.